Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of our platform live stream series. I'm really excited today because we have a special session that we're doing. This is usually just a monthly session, but we had some exciting stuff that we wanted to get out there and talk about. And so I'm happy to be here with a couple of special guests. My name is Brian Troy. I'm the Senior Director of Product Marketing at ConnectWise. I'm joined by Mike and Oz. And today we're going to get into why hyperautomation is more than just a buzzword. I know I've heard it. Lots of messages. I have a chance to talk with lots of different partners in the industry. Folks will say, well, you say that, but I don't really know what it means. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about how we're taking automation to the next level and how you can do so in your business as well. And so before we get into any of that, though, I always like to start out with a little bit of fun. So why don't I flip it over to Mike? Mike, give us a quick little intro of yourself and then tell us what you did this past weekend. Anything exciting?
Sure. My name's Mike Darno. I've been with ConnectWise for 12 years now. Gone through the ranks of support, product management, partner success, and now on the evangelist team. So working with a lot of different aspects of ConnectWise and trying to make sure that everyone knows about our products and how they can best utilize them. As far as my weekend, they're all about the same. But I did go to Monster Jam with my son. So anyone that has kids. Big fan of Monster Jam.
All right. Yeah, you can't go wrong with monster trucks and, smashing things, right? Whenever you've got the kiddos. Oz, same question to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what did you do this weekend?
Yeah, sure. So I am about 9 months in, 8 or 9 months into ConnectWise. My role is to execute on the go-to-market strategy and investment that we're making in hyperautomation. So everything workflow, RPA, AI. We'll talk a little bit about how we're defining hyperautomation. It is more than a buzzword, especially here at ConnectWise. So we'll go into that. This weekend, probably two meaningful things. I also did go, Mike, to the Monster Truck Jam. It was a pretty cool show. And then I also saw, this is a shout out to Disney, I did go and watch Deadpool and Wolverine. It was pretty good. It's funny.
Nice. It's like the tale of two different weekends right there is, one thing with the kids and one probably without the kids, right? But
Yep.
No, that's great. That sounds like a lot of fun. So very cool. Well, thanks for everybody who's joining us live. And then for those that catch the replay later on, before we get into the hyperautomation thing, just want to talk a second about why we do this series and why this series is important to the industry. Our goal is to really talk about the evolution from disparate point solutions to a platform movement in the MSP space. And we believe that really the only way for our partners and for anybody in this space to experience hyperautomation and what we're going to get into in a minute is through a true platform. You need to have certain elements that you just don't have whenever you've got disconnected point solutions. A single data layer, an automation engine, an orchestration engine, those types of things are the things that really allow you to go from what you're doing today with automation, which is fantastic. There's a lot of wonderful automation going on out there, but we're talking about taking it to the next level. And that's why we talk about hyperautomation. And so the only way you can do that is whenever you really have a platform that's powering that. And Oz, maybe if you could, for just a couple of minutes, talk to us a little bit about your definition of hyperautomation and why you think that this is something that's really important for our partners and for the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is more than a buzzword because it has been around for a while, right? It's been executed, it's been done, it's been proven to add value to almost all types of businesses. And the enterprise space has been doing this for well over 10 years. That's the space that I'm coming from. So large organizations that have high risk, high governance businesses where they need to be able to automate, track, audit, and automate a lot of the business so they can improve their margins, right? That same thing applies to our MSP and TSP community. What we're now doing is bite-sizing it and being able to afford it and make it easy to use using technologies like low-code platforms to be able to quickly build it. You can have a technical user operate it, or you can have a business user create these workflows, right, to automate your business. So let's start with the definition of hyperautomation, right? So hyperautomation is not a single technology, right? It's not just AI, it's not just workflow, it's not just robotic process automation. It's a compilation of technologies that an organization will adopt in order to automate as many IT business processes in your organization or tasks in order to reduce any repetitive tasks or get rid of unmeaningful work, right? So you can focus as a user or as a user of a hyperautomation system on more meaningful work and to upskill yourself into doing more for, let's say you want to do more in-depth AI work, right? You can automate the stuff that's there, like password resets or onboarding a basic customer, answering, the same service desk ticket that you answer every day, 5 times a day. Forget that. Find a way to automate it. You now can focus on doing new things, and that's where hyperautomation starts to, benefit organizations in the MSP TSP space.
No, that's really great, Oz. And I love how you talk about it in the format of it not being one single solution. It also has the ability to automate across multiple different types of solutions as well. And I think that that's where a lot of the power comes in is, what you're seeing today, mostly in the MSP space, is automating, certain things in a specific manner, but they're usually focused on one area, where hyperautomation allows you to really go broadly and automate across multiple different solutions and processes that you see today. So, Oz, I'm going to put you on the spot for a second. I know you were just out in Colorado at our IT Nation Evolve event, meeting with our partners. What did you hear from them? I mean, what are some of these folks doing around hyperautomation these days?
Yeah, so it's across the board. What we're seeing is that they're using it for all sorts of use cases. One of the use cases is around security. How do you input hyperautomation into security? So today with cybersecurity, the AI is being used to infiltrate and to attack. And so unless you're using automation to be able to detect these faster than a human can, or if you're not using hyperautomation to be able to send out vulnerability responses or incident management responses, you're going to be as an organization fall behind cybersecurity. It's one way that I've heard our partners talk about it. Other ways are, topic is attrition of organizations. So our partners are dealing with attrition within their organization. How can they make up for that attrition? How can they preserve the knowledge base that they have internally? And hyperautomation is a great answer to that. The faster you can adopt these types of automations in an organization, the faster you can scale your organization. So you can grow just as fast without hiring people, because you're now automating some of the work that's there. And it's just, you're looking at the bottom line. So I did talk to some folks around just the state of their business and trying to improve margins. And then again, automating processes, time it takes to resolve things like service desk tickets, or being able to monitor or to apply security policies. Those all take time. And the faster you can optimize your business, the better margins you're making on the business. So there's sort of a mix of use cases out there, whether you're doing very specific cybersecurity related hyperautomations, whether you're looking at it from a CFO lens, looking at margins, or as a business owner. And then third, how do you actually scale the business without hiring more people or as you're losing people?
No, that's great. Yep. I think you nailed the big one, right? Time is money, especially in this world that we work in. And so being able to eliminate some of those repetitive tasks and automate more of that to free up the valuable time, there's a lot of value in that. So, hey, you hit on something a second ago that I want to circle back to, and I'm going to throw it over to Mike. You talked about some of these cybersecurity use cases. So in a couple of weeks at Automation Nation in Tampa, we're going to be digging into a specific use case that I think is just really cool. One of the reasons we wanted to do this session today was to help bring some exposure to what we're going to be doing. So Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about this use case and how we're going to apply hyperautomation to solve it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the things that we're doing with our events this year, hackathons are back. So being able to show our partners how to utilize hyperautomation within ConnectWise and expand upon things that they may be facing in their environment. So one of the scenarios we're going to be reviewing in our hackathon is creating a SOAR solution. So, this scenario revolves around, an organization that, may be having some issues with security. So something that many MSPs are facing today, traditional security management methods just no longer suffice. So they're getting alerts from their EDR, their SIM solution, but it's just not scalable without throwing more people at it. So creating a solution using hyperautomation to start that SOAR journey by streamlining and optimizing security operations, freeing up their resources so they can actually focus on those security issues, and it gets to the right people quickly. So this task through the hackathon is going to be developing that SOAR solution with a few different objectives. Incident detection and triage, so that you're developing automated processes using RPA and workflow to monitor those security alerts that you're receiving, identifying which ones are high priority, low priority, and implementing that hyperautomation to prioritize and categorize those based on the severity, and then utilizing things like playbooks and workflows that guide analysts through that investigation process, so that you're automating some of those repetitive tasks, you're providing real-time insights, you're being able to utilize playbooks so that again, things are being handled consistently through that security incident, and then automated remediation and mitigation. So being able to take actions, once that threat has been received, it's been escalated, it's been prioritized. How do we automatically respond to those through SOAR capabilities with locking down user accounts or malware quarantines, and updating PSA accordingly so that everyone is in communication and knows exactly what to expect and what the next steps are through that. So, a great scenario that I think utilizing hyperautomation is going to be a great solve for those that are creating SOAR systems within their MSPs today.
That's really cool, Mike. I'm excited to see this. So you guys help me just a little bit further clarity. So we're going to do this in a hands-on lab. So attendees that are coming to Automation Nation are going to have the opportunity to then work with you two to build this out in a step-by-step manner. Is that the plan?
Well, what we want to do is actually have these people attending Automation Nation create it first. So we want them to utilize it, but we can show them how to improve it. So they can utilize it today, and we have many partners doing so, but we want to see what they come up with, because some of these partner-led solutions, they go above and beyond of what we can do today. But being able to show them this is the capabilities and possibilities that you can create with the hyperautomation, and then being able to expand their knowledge through the sessions at Automation Nation, and be able to say, hey, here's what you can do to keep expanding and keep creating a better source system within your environment.
Very cool. Very cool. True hackathon style. I like it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Brian, we are doing hands-on labs. So one of the biggest things of the folks descending into Tampa is it's at our HQ, which is a pretty cool place for those that haven't been there. So it's right in downtown Tampa. It's right by the water. Some great food around here, so we'll be enjoying some good food and drinks. We'll have we'll showcase the hackathon finalists there, and then we also have hands-on labs as part of what we're doing now. So every attendee that's coming will get a chance to actually play with the technology. It'll go from like a fast start on how to create workflows, all the way to like the middle ground where you're sort of building third-party integrations, because you mentioned earlier, it's not just about integrating to the same product stack. How do you integrate across to other technologies that our partners have, right? Whether you're using other PSA vendors, you're using other RMMs or security products, maybe you're using enterprise platforms like SAP, ServiceNow. And then last but not least, more of an advanced RPA workflow lab that allows you to use more of our advanced features and just kind of work your way up. So when you leave Automation Nation, you go back to your office, you have a step-by-step script of ways you start implementing hyperautomation into your organization. So it's going to be hands-on, it'll be fun, we'll have sessions, we'll have panels, we'll have a party at Gen X, which is always fun between karaoke and a few drinks. So it's a good time. It's a good 2 days spent, and it's setting up for IT Nation Connect, where we'll have the continuation of Automation Nation.
No, that's really cool. I think, we wanted to dispel, the rumor that hyperautomation is a little bit of a buzzword here. And I think we're going to hopefully do that at Automation Nation in a couple of weeks. Just the scenario that Mike went through a minute ago, it's different than just common automation. It's looking across multiple different scenarios that you're then able to apply robotic process automation, workflow, all of these technologies together to go come up with a solution that really hasn't been available in this market, as you mentioned, Oz, up until now. And so something really excited about. So we've got a slide for anybody that's interested in joining us to learn more about hyperautomation. And if you want to apply that hands-on knowledge, if you want to participate in the hackathon, I'm sure there's a couple of people watching right now that could probably pull that off and maybe take home the gold medal there. But if you haven't done so already, make sure that you register to join us down in Tampa. It's going to be a great time. The pass includes, a lot of access to a lot of different things, mostly walking away with that script to then go build what you need to build within your office and in your environment so that you can take advantage of hyperautomation and start to see some of those results. And for anybody that's interested in saving a little bit of money, I would encourage you to always check out the ConnectWise virtual community. We've got our hyperautomation space in the virtual community. You never know what's going to show up there, and you never know what kind of incentives are going to be involved. And so Oz and his team and Mike and I are in there all the time working with different partners and talking about things. And so if you haven't done so, make sure you do that. But then also for anybody that's interested and wants to join us in Tampa and save a little bit of money, we do have a promo code, Hyper $50. Hyper $50 is the promo code. Allow you to save $50 off your registration. And so, hopefully, if you haven't quite made the jump yet to meet us down in Tampa, spots are very limited. There's only a couple left, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to do this, because we wanted to make sure that we drew a little bit of attention to the really cool stuff we're going to be doing there, because it is going to sell out fast, and we want to make sure all partners have an opportunity to register. So use code Hyper50 for $50 off, and join us in a couple of weeks as we get really down into the weeds, and we absolutely show how hyperautomation is way more than a buzzword. So Mike, Oz, anything else before we sign off today?
Yeah, Brian, I'm just a personal invite. I will be hosting Automation Nation, so I would love to meet folks coming in. Not only that, but the executive leadership team is here at HQ as well, and they will be there to have very blunt and honest conversations about our strategy around the platform effect and what we're doing with AZO, with hyperautomation, what our investments are. So come, we'll have a good discussion together. So hope to see you in Tampa.
Great.
I'm excited. We'll see y'all there.
All right. So make sure you join us again for the platform webinar series, a platform live stream series. We're doing another one in about 10 days. We're going to break down the value of the ecosystem and talk about how true platforms are based off of open ecosystems, and that's what helps us thrive. So we'll see you in the next round. We will see you in Tampa for Automation Nation. Mike, Oz, thank you guys so much. Thanks to everybody for attending. Have a great day.
Thanks, Brian. Bye-bye.